Vietnam, 1968. In the sweltering, unforgiving jungles near the demilitarized zone, a Marine platoon stumbles into a nightmare ambush. Outnumbered 3-1, bullets whipping through the undergrowth like angry hornets, their backs pinned against the relentless crash of the South China Sea. Every conceivable escape route is a kill zone, sealed by hidden enemy positions. Frantic radio calls for air support vanish into the ether. No jets can penetrate the thickening monsoon clouds. Please foreground artillery yield only, crackling static, as distant batteries fall silent under their own pressures. Desperation claws at the men's throats as they huddle in shallow foxholes. Ammunition dwindling, the acrid smoke of gunfire choking the air. Then, slicing through the radio haze like a lifeline, a voice emerges, steady, commanding, almost spectral in its assurance. The Marines crane their necks toward the horizon, scanning for any sign of rescue, but the sea stretches empty and indifferent. Yet, 25 miles offshore, a colossal relic from a bygone era rumbles to life, its massive engines churning the waves, awakening to deliver thunder from the deep. By the late 1960s, the face of warfare had transformed into a high-stakes ballet of cutting-edge technology, supersonic fighter jets streaking across hostile skies, precision-guided missiles zeroing in on elusive targets, and fleets of helicopters airlifting troops through the humid haze like mechanical raptors. But in the tangled morass of Vietnam's rice paddies, hills, and triple canopy jungles, the United States was exacting a brutal toll in blood and treasure. The relentless aerial bombing campaigns over North Vietnam smashed headlong into a sophisticated labyrinth of anti-aircraft artillery, radar-guided surface-to-air missiles, and fighter interceptors, pushing aircraft and pilot loss rates to harrowing, unsustainable peaks. Each sortie risked irreplaceable lives, with pilots navigating flak-filled gauntlets that claimed dozens of planes monthly. Back at the Pentagon, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara wrestled with this escalating crisis, urgently seeking an alternative fire support platform, one that was indomitable, operable in any weather, and crucially, spared the fragile human element of flight crews. His audacious solution defied the era's technological zeitgeist, reaching back into the naval mothball fleet where forgotten titans slumbered. Among them loomed the USS New Jersey, an Iowa-class battleship forged in the crucible of World War II, now derided by forward-thinking admirals as an antiquated behemoth unfit for the missile age. Navy traditionalists and modernists clashed bitterly over the reactivation. Proposal critics lambasted it as regressive folly, a fuel-guzzling dinosaur demanding a crew of over 1,500 sailors in an era of lean, automated warships. Its sheer scale was staggering, 887 feet long, displacing 58,000 tons fully loaded, with operating costs ballooning to nearly $1 million monthly. Skeptics argued its 16-inch guns, relics of broadside battles, were obsolete against agile Viet Cong guerrillas and North Vietnamese regulars who melted into the landscape. Yet McNamara, ever the data-driven strategist, wagered on the ship's unparalleled raw potency, sheathed in armor plating up to 19.7 inches thick, capable of withstanding torpedoes, bombs, and shells that would splinter lesser vessels. The New Jersey mounted 9 Mark 7 16-inch guns, each barrel 66 feet long, and able to propel projectiles heavier than a small car. Authorized in August 1967 with a $27 million budget, ultimately spending $21 million. The reactivation unfolded at breakneck speed in Philadelphia's naval shipyard. Dry-decked from September 1967. Her 8 boilers and 4 turbines were overhauled. Her massive gun turrets, weighing as much as a destroyer, were greased and tested, and modern upgrades layered on. Advanced radar suites, anti-aircraft missile launchers, helicopter pads, and satellite navigation to bridge her vintage soul with contemporary demands. The crew, a mix of seasoned salts and fresh recruits, assembled under Captain J. Edward Snyder Jr., who declared her a battleship and nothing less. By March 1968, machinery trials pushed her to 35.2 knots without incident, her propellers carving the Atlantic like a Leviathan reborn. On April 6, 1968, amid a crowd of 10,000 shadowed by national mourning for Martin Luther King Jr., she was recommissioned as the world's lone active battleship, a paradoxical fusion of 1940s engineering and 1960s sea trials followed, including her first live 16-inch firings on April 17, blasting targets with earth-shaking precision during inspections. Departing Philadelphia on May 16, she hosted throngs of visitors in Norfolk 2000 over a weekend before squeezing through the Panama Canal on June 4. Her 108-foot beam scraping the locks with mere inches to spare. Arriving in Long Beach on June 11, intensive refresher training ensued, battle simulations, anti-aircraft drills, underway replenishments, and gunnery exercises extending to 20.5 nautical miles. A family cruise on August 30 treated loved ones to barbecues and tours, boosting morale before the August 28 ammunition loadout at Seal Beach. On September 5, she steamed westward, pausing in Pearl Harbor and Subic Bay, her decks humming with anticipation. September 29, 1968, marked her baptism by fire off Da Nang as she fired her first combat rounds the next day, demolishing storage areas, bunkers, and artillery positions in the DMZ. For the next 120 days on the gun line, spanning 152 total in theater, the New Jersey became an unyielding sentinel. Her mission, singular: shore bombardment in support of Allied ground forces. Her 9 16-inch guns, arrayed in 3 triple turrets armored to 19.5 inches, could hurl 2,700-pound armor-piercing shells or 1,900-pound high-explosive projectiles up to 24 miles, their trajectories arcing to 120,000 feet, triple Mount Everest's height for slamming down at Mach 1.5. Each turret, a self-contained fortress outweighing a modern frigate, rotated with hydraulic precision, fed by powder magazines and projectile hoists. The sensory onslaught was visceral. Nighttime volleys flashed like daylight across the sea. Shockwaves rippling waves and rattling nearby ships, capable of sucking breath from lungs at close range. On the ground, the supersonic shells arrived silently at first, their delayed roar a guttural, air-tearing freight train or a cosmic dump truck, instilling primal terror, inverting cause and effect as explosions preceded sound. Deep in her armored citadel, the main battery plot room pulsed as her analog brain, the Mark 8 Rangekeeper, a multi-ton mechanical computer of worry gears, cams, and differentials, crunching variables in real-time. Ships, speed, roll, wind shear, air density, propellant temperature, even Earth's curvature and Coriolis deflection at max range, lest shells stray hundreds of yards. Forward observers, embedded with troops, radioed coordinates, enabling iterative adjustments. In one October 1968 strike, spotters targeted waterborne logistics craft in the DMZ, the New Jersey obliterating 11 in a single barrage. On October 25, under rare hostile fire enemy shells splashing harmlessly like golf balls, she retaliated, pulverizing 11 structures and 7 bunkers. Her secondary battery of 12 5-inch 38 caliber guns added rapid-fire punch, expending 14,891 rounds overall, shredding closer targets with anti-personnel fury, integrating innovations like drone anti-submarine helicopters -4 aerial spotting. She fired simultaneous salvos, her guns glowing cherry red from overuse, cooled by seawater sprays to avert catastrophe. The New Jersey's dual visage emerged vividly in the field. To American, South Vietnamese, and Allied forces, she was Big J, the omnipotent guardian angel. Pinned units radioed distress, and her voice replied, "This is New Jersey fire mission received." Minutes later, the sky screamed, the ground heaved, and enemy strongholds vanished in apocalyptic craters 50 feet wide, 20 feet deep, clearing jungle for helipads or erasing hilltops entirely. In a legendary February 1969 engagement, she saved the Marine outpost Ocean View from overrun by 130 North Vietnamese regulars, unleashing 1,710 5-inch rounds in 6 hours. Her fire directed by Lance Corporal Roger Klaus, who juggled 6 batteries amid chaos, earning a Bronze Star recommendation. Spotters marveled, "It's like an old-time war movie," with one Army sergeant noting the psychological edge, enemies fleeing at the mere whisper of her presence. She supported operations like Bold Mariner's amphibious assault on Batangan Peninsula in January 1969, prepping beaches with thunderous prep fire, and Operation Mead River in November 1968, vaporizing bunkers and troop concentrations. For the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong, she was the Black Dragon, a harbinger of unseen doom. Her over-the-horizon strikes sowed dread, the shrieking shells traumatizing survivors, who dubbed her barrages the sound of hell. Psychological ops, capitalized. Leaflets post-strike warned, "You have felt the wrath of the world's mightiest battleship surrender or face oblivion in 10 minutes, prompting mass defections." Prisoners confessed her rumor alone deterred offensives, forcing dispersal and deeper entrenchments, crippling logistics. In Operation Sea Dragon, she shelled coastal batteries and radar sites, interdicting seaborne supplies, destroying 9 waterborne craft. Across her tour, damage tallies mounted: 439 structures destroyed by main battery, plus 56 secondary, 596 bunkers obliterated, 75 cave complexes caved in, 146 enemy confirmed killed, with secondary explosions rippling through ammo caches. Life aboard mirrored the intensity. A crew half World War II size 1,556 enlisted, 70 officers apporated with innovative zeal, praised by Captain Snyder as the finest, most professional group. They endured monsoons that turned deck slick and caused premature detonations, typhoons, rerouting courses, and Russian Tu-95 overflights spying from afar. Replenishments were ballets of precision, underway from ships like USS Wrangel, 188 tons ammo, on January 3, 1969, or vertical via CH-53 helos in fog, delivering provisions while on station. Morale boosters included closed-circuit TV with movies and sports, Pace College courses, and the Bob Hope Christmas Show on December 25, 1968. where the troops' performance in cake-cutting lifted spirits amid holiday isolation. Humanitarian notes dotted the log. Crew blood donations saved a Philadelphia civilian pre-deployment, and Operation Hilton offered hot showers, laundry, and meals to visiting Marines. Challenges abounded: emergency appendectomies at sea. A single crewman lost to enemy fire in 152 days, but her charmed life prevailed, with no major damage. From September 1968 to April 1969, she expended 5,688 16-inch shells and 14,891 5-inch rounds, nearly 12 million pounds of ordnance, surpassing her World War II and Korean totals combined despite half manpower. Missions spanned I to the Fourth Corps, demolishing Vin Caves, silencing rocket sites near Con Thien, supporting ROK Marines off Da Nang, destroying 20 bunkers February 12, 1969, and aiding a RVN divisions in Phan Thiet, 72 bunkers raised March 26. Port calls in Subic Bay and Yokosuka provided respite, hosting 10,000 visitors in Japan. A mutual defense board meeting, but duty called relentlessly. In April 1969, en route home, she diverted to the Sea of Japan amid the EC-1-1 shootdown crisis, her crew stoically accepting extended separation, underscoring her strategic versatility. Economics sealed her fate. Amid Nixon's de-escalation and budget slashes, her high costs despite proving low-risk firepower led to inactivation. Announced August 21, 1969. The news brought sobs from the crew. Ammunition offloaded at Seal Beach. She arrived in Bremerton September 8 for 100-day deactivation, completing 22 days early. Decommissioned December 17 in a poignant ceremony. Captain Robert C. Peniston bid her rest well, yet sleep lightly. Her legacy etched in saved lives and shattered foes. Tactically, she reshaped battles, providing all-weather support air power couldn't match, boosting morale as troops lamented her absence. When Big J was here, we slept better. Strategically, while geography limited her to coastal zones and the war's outcome remained unaltered, she affirmed major caliber guns' enduring value in a missile-dominated world. Reactivated in the 1980s for Lebanon and the Gulf, her Vietnam saga remains her most visceral. A steel phoenix bridging eras where human ingenuity and overwhelming force defied obsolescence. Today, as a museum in Camden, New Jersey, she welcomes visitors to explore her turrets, plot rooms, and decks, where echoes of thunder whisper tales of courage. Veterans like Ronald Wentworth, who served ashore in 1969-1970, share artifacts, helmets, gas masks, helmet stories of unwelcoming homecomings during annual Living History Days. Bridging generations. What element of this mighty warrior's tale resonates with youth? The seismic guns, the ingenious mechanics, the unbreakable crew spirit, or the lives forever changed? Dive deeper into such epics of military innovation and heroism by exploring more Chronicles of War as Pivotal Machines.